following independence, each summit, Warrensburg, Sedalia, Jefferson,
Welcome to Union Station, the beginning of our journey today. Union Station was built in 1912 and it currently has a few amenities inside, like Harvey's, Pierpont's, the Amtrak Station, Kansas City Store, and Parisi Cafe, among other things. Here is the Great Hall. This is where passengers would have originally waited for their train. Today it's eerie. Very eerie. Right, now back to the regular video. To your right is the exit for the model rail experience, and behind the walls to your left is the Science City Interactive Science Museum. This hallway goes out to the freight bridge, which is a very good place to watch trains. Two trains are at the station right now, train number 4 and train number 314. Train number 4 is the Southwest Chief, running from LA to Chicago. Train number 314 is the Missouri River Runner, the train we are taking today, that runs from Kansas City to St. Louis. Here you can see train number 4 departing for the Plate of Missouri. Here is the actual station itself. A stark contrast to its heyday. It is the former smoking room and now contains the Amtrak waiting room and information window. In the waiting room, you'll see the posters for various Amtrak long-distance routes. As well as the Lewis and Clark Expedition map, which the Missouri River Runner runs along a truncated portion through the state of Missouri. Over here is the Amtrak system map. It is now time to board the train. Since the tracks were ripped out in the mid-80s, you now have to take a long metal and concrete corridor down to the tracks themselves. major connections to the River Runner are the KC streetcar, the Southwest Chief, Metrolink in St. Louis, as well as the Lincoln Service and the Texas Eagle. In the car park over there, you'll see a small building looking thing in there. That's the escalators for the Amtrak, which was open until the mid to late 2000s when they reopened Amtrak in Union Station.
Attention Amtrak passengers, we're now boarding train number 314 to St. Louis. Stops are going into Jefferson, Summit, Warrensburg, Sedalia, Jefferson,
These steps need a little bit of work. As you'll see at the end of the video, they're in a very sorry shape. The type of car we'll be riding in today is a Horizons coach. From the 80s, it was supplementary to Amtrak. There's the luggage compartment, and here's a look at the seats. The seats were okay. Decent leg room, though the trays were a little bit small. Had to wait for a Union Pacific freight train to pass through, but it didn't take long. And we were on our way just a short while later. Now departing from Kansas City Union Station, boarding mark KCY, you get a nice view of the downtown skyline. Passing under Main Street Bridge, which is also where the Ride Casey streetcar runs. So yes, you're passing under a railroad on a train. Here's a better view of the skyline once we sort of get out towards the side of downtown.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard Amtrak 314, the Missouri River Runner, with service eastbound to St. Louis. Intermediate stops in Independence, Lee Summit, Warrensburg, Sedalia, Jefferson City, Hermann, Washington, Kirkwood. Our final station stop of the day will be St. Louis Gateway Station, downtown St. Louis, with a scheduled arrival time of 1:55 p.m. Ladies and gentlemen, for your convenience today, full service cafe is in the rear. Cafe car is in the rear. If you're in the business section, please just walk forward. You walk right past it on your way through. Hey folks, for safety reasons, no cash transactions on board for the safety of our staff and our customers. Then, ladies and gentlemen, when you move out the train, you must have your shoes on. Get a grip on something. The train makes sudden shifts when it's in motion, so hold on and watch the step. Grab the candy stripe handrails through the vestibule areas. Hey folks, you gotta have your mask on when you move about. Amtrak's asking all passengers to wear a mask over your nose and your mouth. Hey folks, 2 restrooms in every coach. The restrooms on the opposite end of the luggage rack. Please help us keep the train and the restrooms clean by disposing all trash in the trash can. Ladies and gentlemen, if you see a white box, that is for trash. Hey, if you use your cell phone today, use low tones. Remember, this is a family environment. No profanity, please. Listen to music, watch videos. Headset is required. Hey, folks, please refrain from using the speaker aspect of your phone so that the people around you don't have to hear both sides of that conversation. And folks, if you use FaceTime, please use a headset. Welcome aboard.
A lot of the railroad through Kansas City runs through some pretty rough areas. Not the worst in the city, but also not the best. So there is a lot of graffiti, and some of it isn't savory. And I've tried my best to edit out the unsavory graffiti, though there may have been stuff I missed. There's an old factory of some sort. Though it appears the train stopped going there long ago. We're starting to get into the Sheffield Junction, and on the tracks up above is where the Southwest Chief goes.
If I remember correctly, the Southwest Chief goes up there.
Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Once we get through Independence, the train picks up a bit of speed until the maintenance areas. We have now entered Sheffield Junction, which is owned by the Kansas City Terminal Railway, which you can see a locomotive for over there.
We're done.
You remember?
Mm-hmm. There's more diamonds. Cruising at
Now we are getting
decent
to
speed.
Independence.
Oh, here it is. Oh, there's the branch I was talking about.
Oh, okay. What's that branch?
I do
Reporting
not
mark
know what it's
IDP.
called.
There's a branch that curves off to the east that, as far as I know, the only customer is a freight handling company that's located in an old quarry. I'm just gonna let the video play for a little bit with a little bit of music.
There's the sun. And I was right there. There's the boost down there. Boost. Got that yet?
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Lee Summit we're arriving at. Hey folks, after we leave Lee Summit, we have to slow roll past the freight train right out to the depot. This is Lee Summit.
Oh, that's why we're on a turn.
My phone had just fallen right before this clip started. Here we are approaching Lee Summit. Reporting mark LEE. The depot you see is no longer in service and is now the Chamber of Commerce. The actual station is on the other side. Welcome to the Restroom Review. This is where we review the restroom. It's fairly cramped. Toilet was okay. It's like an airplane toilet with a bit of extra stainless steel. That's for toilet liners. Empty. Here's the thing. It was weird because you had to press your hand on the faucet in order to get it to go. And there's the soap in a holder that keeps it from falling. Here's the disabled access. Here you can see the button a lot more clearly. This restroom did not have hot water. There's a pocket and a hand dryer. The button is on the side of the restroom, out of view though.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, once again, Warrensburg coming up. Just a couple of minutes. If Warrensburg, your station stop, please make your way to the attendant door.
Warrensburg, reporting mark WAR, is a very common stop for the college students in the town, as the train is a very cheap way to get into Kansas City or St. Louis.
There was a sign that said, "Throw your mama from the train and let her shop."
Did you get that on your video?
Uh-huh.
Oh.
And then we stopped for about 30
Ladies
minutes.
and gentlemen, I can have your attention, please, folks. We're here at station stop of Warrensburg. Have a little medical emergency here, folks. Got to take care of a passenger. Be on the road here in just a few minutes. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, we are trying to take care of a medical problem here at Warrensburg. Going to be delayed here just a few minutes.
While we wait, let's look at the customer safety instructions. These are like what you find on airlines, except a little bit more hilarious because the images, it's like they're from WikiHow. And you know, your standard, here's your exits, but there's a lot less since rarely does the train end up in water, though it has happened before.
Okay, this all looked nicer from afar, now I'm realizing it's a marsh. Oh, the sort of ditch between the train and the wall.
The map sort of glitched out here for some reason. We're about to run directly parallel to Highway 50, so I'm just going to let that play with some music. now passing through Noster, and there's a Sonic. We're now somewhere outside of Sedalia. And we are following Menifee Road. And on the other side of the train is the Tyson Food Factory.
There it is.
Here we are in Sedalia, porting our SEV. And the map is doing something again. Probably got corrupted during the rendering.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, next day stop coming up would be Jefferson City. Should be in Jefferson City here about an hour. Once again, takes about 1 hour to Jefferson City.
Some sort of abandoned garage over there. Those tracks lead off to an industrial complex, though not all of it receives trains
Oh, there it is.
anymore.
There's
But there is a
rail
rail
track.
track over there. This is the industrial facility that doesn't really receive trains anymore.
I think I might see the river off in the distance. Oh, yeah. Ooh, that's an old barn.
Please drive back at attention, please. The next station stop will be Jefferson City here, about 5 minutes. If you're leaving us here in Jeff City, please start looking around and make sure all your personal items are turning your seat back to the upright and locked position. Going to be a brief opportunity to get on, step off, stretch your legs, get a cigarette break in, folks. Not going to be very long on the platform, maybe just a couple of minutes. Going to try to make up that time, get everybody into St. Louis, Kirkwood. Once again, if you do exit the train, folks, and wish to continue, stay close to the train side, be the first one at the door. You got a little bit more time. Going to be a brief station stop coming into Jefferson City.
Oh, there's the river. That's a pretty big bridge.
63. US 63. Yeah.
Barges.
US
There's barges. Yeah, barges.
I used to think of
Over there.
barges as a river train.
There's like a gravel place.
They don't
over
really
there.
come up to Kansas City that often. And usually when we do, it's just a dredging barge. The barges serve a
barges,
sand and
barges.
gravel
Yeah,
company. That's
Missed
about it.
the flat cars with porta potties on.
Ah.
Here we are arriving at Jefferson City. We'll get a better view of the station on the return trip. Here we are heading into Hermann, just past another river train barge. And there's
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this next station stop coming up is Hermann next. So about 35 minutes to Washington. Washington's about 35 minutes.
there's a sand and gravel company here as well, which is why the barges come through. Now, this station stop is a little bit interesting because if I don't think anyone was getting on or off, so we never stopped.
Oh wow, there's like a paddle boat memorial. A massive paddle wheel over there. There's a barge.
Here's
Oh.
where some tracks had previously slid into
That
the
explains why
river.
we're. Oh
So it
dear.
was pretty slow.
No
through
wonder
here
they're doing
for
track
the
maintenance.
Yeah.
It's about to go under the river.
Being so close to the river, the Amtrak River Runner is very susceptible to flooding. Like a couple years ago, where they replaced the entire route with buses because the tracks were underwater. So, a train passes by here, so look away if you have visual epilepsy. Here we are approaching Washington. We will see Washington a little bit better on the return trip. There's a lot of boat docks, and this is sort of the makeshift marina, I guess. They basically just put a sandbar out in the river to make things a little bit calmer.
All right, guys, 35 minutes to Kirkwood, about an hour to St. Louis.
Yeah, this is probably some sort of cargo.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, that was Washington. Next stop, Kirkwood, folks. Kirkwood. In about 35, 40 minutes to Kirkwood. About an hour. St. Louis, about 1 hour.
We are about to head under the first of two tunnels along the route. And now we're in the tunnel. This one lasts for about 5 seconds.
We did.
Yeah. Are those old telegraph poles?
Here we are passing over the Central Midland Railway, reporting CMR. It operates the 60 easternmost miles of the Old Rock Island.
Alright guys, obviously we lost a little time. Looking like about 2:25 is going to be the best we can do into St. Louis or so, okay?
Here we are, about to head under Gray's Summit through the second
St.
tunnel.
Louis should have
The main road through Gray's Summit is Route 66.
Oh. Or is this when we pass under Route 66?
This tunnel is considerably longer.
I guess that's the point where we pass under Route 66.
Yeah, pick a point.
What?
Say pick a point.
All trash in the proper trash receptacles. Once again, a reminder, watch your step, folks. Hold on those handrails. Careful going down the stairs. Kirkwood next, a little less than 5 minutes. Once we depart Kirkwood, it's about a 20-minute run to St. Louis. Once again, Kirkwood to St. Louis is about 20 minutes.
Here's the National Transportation Museum, home of one of the last two aeroplanes.
Museum of Transportation.
Ah. Just better. Oh, is that the Beltway?
Kirkwood next, folks. This is Kirkwood.
Here we are at Kirkwood, reporting mark KIR. Now, there won't be a lot of sound for this final stretch because there was one passenger that waited until the final stretch to start talking really loudly on their cell phone while also swearing profusely. Here we are, about to come up on the blue line. Up there is the Metrolink blue line. We will see Metrolink later on in the video. here's where the one passenger was at their worst. We're getting closer to the station now, and there's McKay off in the distance, as well as the train. Here we are now paralleling the Metrolink red and blue lines. The red line curves up north towards the airport. Oh, and there's a train. Don't worry, it'll be back. While the blue line curves south. Oh, and there it is again. As I was saying, the blue line curves south towards Shrewsbury. Any moment now. There it is. Metrolink is unique in that it is one of the few light rail systems to cross a state border, as both lines cross into St. Louis with the blue line terminating at Fairview Heights and the red line going all the way to Scott Air Force Base. Here the Metrolink splits off from the rest of the tracks, and later on it curves up north under Union Station, and there's the arch. Here's the best photo I could get of the arch.
Apologize for the late arrival here in St. Louis. Due to some great congestion as well as some speed restrictions out there, but we'll slow behind Pleasantville. We look forward to once again including some travel friends. Have a safe and pleasant ride here in St. Louis's Gateway Station. Those passengers need a little help, folks. There will be station personnel on the platform to assist you to get into the station. If you need help or don't see one right away, folks, please be patient. We do have everyone on number here. They'll be taking care of you as best they can. Just be patient, folks. We'll be safe.
Here we are arriving at St. Louis, reporting mark STL. There is a SC-44, which is the type of locomotive that pulls these sort of intercity routes. The SC stands for, I believe, either short distance charger or Siemens charger. 44 stands for 4400 horsepower. The escalator is nice compared to stairs at Kansas City. Alright, welcome to Gateway Transportation Center in St. Louis. It has connections to Missouri River Runner, Illinois Service, and Texas Eagle. Local transit is the Metrolink and the regular buses, and it also has connection to the Greyhound. It is much newer, opening in, I believe, 2008, and was built to replace the Union Station, which was far too big for the modern needs of Amtrak. The station is really just a small gray building under an overpass that's also kind of crumbling. Bridges shouldn't have stalactites hanging from them. Here we are, sort of in the main area. Still sort of in the Amtrak way. Here's the main waiting room. It has a deli. And down that hallway is the Greyhound terminal with the Greyhound reception on that side and Amtrak reception on this side. And here it is, guys, the real St. Louis Arch. So I had forgotten to film the walk from Gateway Transportation Center to the old Union Station. So here is a Google Street View interpretation. I wasn't too impressed with St. Louis, to be honest. The sidewalks were all overgrown. You can kind of see it here. And everything just seems sad. And my friends have told me that that's normal for St. Louis. Here we are crossing the Metrolink. It was also there was a heat wave in St. Louis this day as well. So walking there was brutal, though it only took about 10 minutes. So here's Union Station. It used to be a shopping mall, now it has an aquarium. Yeah. I have only one video and it's of the koi pond. I'm probably going to edit most of this out, or just raise the
feeding him over there.
voice volume. I'm not too partial to pop, and neither is the YouTube algorithm, so you know. Oh, and here's the light rail adventure. Yeah, so it was too hot to walk back, so I just decided to take the Metrolink.
How convenient!
It was only one station, and really only one block. As you can see, we go from Union Station to Civic Center, which is one block and one corner. Great ditch.
Next stop will be the Civic Center Station, as servicing the Amtrak train station, Greyhound bus station, and the Gateway Transportation Center. Also servicing the Civic Center Metro bus transit center. The doors will open on the
I've heard the Metrolink can get pretty sketchy in certain areas at certain times of the day, but that's sort of true with all of St. Louis.
From the Civic Center station, the doors will open on
I've also never been on a light rail system that didn't have automated messaging. guessing what it is, so that's strange. And here it is departing. Also, right after this clip ended, some dude tried to fight the station workers over not paying a ticket. Down there you can see some Terminal Association engines. The Terminal Railroad Association is a similar railroad to Kansas City Terminal Railroad. And here we are now leaving St. Louis after under 3 hours of being there. Because the train was about 28-ish minutes late. The dining car and business class is contained in a single Amfleet 1, which is from the sort of mid to late 70s, and are iconic for their airplane look. Well, the Horizons are iconic for basically just being a box on wheels.
Congratulations, you made it. The rest is going to go.
I also do not like how small the windows are. Especially for the fact that I'm used to Amtrak California cars. The graffiti here is bad. There's a section of video I had to cut out because there was a car that contained multiple racial slurs spray painted on the side. Here's another look at SC-44. Which is in the same family of locomotive as what Amtrak's new long-distance locomotive will be, which is ALC-42. ALC standing for Amtrak Long Distance Charger, 42 standing for 4,200 horsepower, which will replace the aging fleet of 42. passed a baggage car, which is mostly used on routes that follow Union Pacific, because Union Pacific in the past couple of years has put on a restriction for any train that they must have a minimum number of axles in order to run that train. There's the section of footage I had to cut. No, we didn't.
Hello. Are you going to Jeff City? Thank you, ma'am. Okay, well, if you're ready, I'll take it. Got 3 of you going to Kansas City?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You sure about that now?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, if you insist. I guess we'll have to stop there then, darn it. All right, well, you're all set to go.
All right, thanks.
Thank you. How you doing today? Can't complain. We got a Kansas City thing going on here. There we go. Thank you. Hello. What you got there? Sedalia? You sure about that? Joey? Okay. I don't know. It looks suspicious.
You didn't have those coming here.
Okay, I guess we'll take it first time. There we go. One. Good. Thank you, fellas. Appreciate it. First name? Right here. Good. Are you good? I'll wait for something to come.
And then we stopped for a bit.
There's only 2 of them in existence. The Arrow train. Basically, it was trying to be the next innovation in high-speed rail, and this was like late 50s, and it failed spectacularly. They made the cars out of buses, and they bounced around the track, and it was
They also
and they were
decided
awful
to
to
add
ride.
air ride to the train, which only worsened the bouncing. And they were originally intended to go up over 100 miles an hour, but the railroad that had them for the short period that they had them pretty much limited their speed to 80. was really funny is that there was a mom with 2 children in front of her, and that bit of audio that I cut out, this little girl like stared directly into my phone and then turned to her mother and was like, there's a person back there. And then there were also people in the river. Why? I don't know. Coming up on Washington now. Their street front looks pretty modern. And here's the depot at Washington. And what I find cool is their sign still has the pointless arrow, which is cool.
There's
Amtrak logo.
wow. It's a pointless arrow.
There's also a pointless arrow in Warrensburg, but not with the station. The reporting mark of Washington is WAH.
Well, man, scroll what I started with. Okay, I get to pick first. She did last time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Now leaving.
Okay. It's our first stop.
And the obligatory Mopac caboose.
There
Cute little
is
town.
a Missouri Pacific caboose in every single town, because before this was the Union Pacific, it was the Missouri
Smaller
Pacific.
than St. Louis and Lisa.
And then there was a merger. This is also one of the few passenger routes from the Missouri Pacific that Amtrak managed to get a hold of before the Missouri Pacific basically just en masse got rid of them.
Okay. Good. Orders. Alright.
Up first is the Hebrew National Hot Dog. On board, it costs $5.75 with an entree only, which is how I bought it. The texture is that of a hot dog with the casing, though the casing was a little tough. It was a little bland without ketchup, but it was pretty okay after ketchup. So I give the hot dog a rating of 3 stars out of 5. Not the best thing ever, but pretty okay. Now I wish I could say the same about the burgers and donuts. On board they were $3.25, and unfortunately they were very dense and chewy into my mouth and throat and gummed up. The glaze was somewhat slimy towards the bottom of the cup as well. The taste is fairly sweet, bordering on too sweet. Tasted okay. I'd give this 2 stars, mostly because of the texture. It wasn't awful, just unpleasant. Now, the way I rate food is on a 5-star scale, with 5 stars being a good restaurant, beer pong. I haven't been there. So something equivalent would maybe be like the streetcar named Desire, which is unfortunately now gone. Anything lower would be like 1 star, which would be Delta food that I had the first round, where it was not great. It was okay at first, but then I had to stop eating it halfway through because it just got progressively worse. The 0 stars would be something like what I had on the ferry, which I couldn't even eat. So that might have been more from seasickness than the food itself. It also didn't look very appetizing. Or the meal I had on Delta the second time crossing the Atlantic, it looked like a minced up person. And then we have -1 stars. And that's how I would describe the food at this place in Arkansas, where just thinking about it makes me sick. So yeah, that explains my rating scale. Yeah.
Kind of cool.
Hallo und willkommen zu Hermann. Hermann ist eine Stadt von Western Missouri.
At first, you're obligatory. You have the Mopac caboose over there.
Ist H-E-R.
It's reminiscent of Rhine Valley Town.
Most of the names are covers.
Gutenberg.
See, the colonial architecture moved to that one for the taking it back forward.
This is a German.
This is the one with all the links in it. Next to the river.
Oh, yeah. Festival.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Okay. Okay, you ready, Richard? Pick your cards.
Here is some sort of distribution warehouse somewhere outside of Jefferson City. There was also the news station. Oh, I couldn't get that camera.
Oh, it was really
Well,
fun.
at least not without it. The rest of it.
Because I'm not sure, it was either a rough section of track or a switch. Hit right as I was about to get on this car. So I was like, this. I was walking.
Here is the old state penitentiary, which is
Oh, there's the penitentiary.
Jefferson City is also the state capital. And I remember in elementary school, in 5th grade, you got to go to. Oh yeah, there's the Missouri Pacific
There's the
Depot.
Pacific
Pacific now, is that? In 5th grade, you got to go to Jefferson City and see how things work.
Union Pacific.
Unfortunately, by the time that
That's why
I got to 5th grade,
That's why we're
the
stopping.
budget had reduced slightly, and there was a little bit of political tension in the state. Here we are at the Jefferson City station. Reporting mark JF. The station building itself is actually closed right now because it is the Union Hotel and it started falling apart. Now they're currently doing restoration work and the waiting room is in an Amtrak module. Though at one point the waiting room was 2 easy applicants. So after a brief stop, which I have edited out, we are moving again.
Yes, there's the capital.
The blue
And
sign
there's
says
the
Amtrak waiting.
Yeah.
Got it?
Why did you even bring these?
These? They're fun. You know how it works?
I don't know.
Okay, so you do one
Count all these.
Yeah. Well, first you do 10.
All.
So you need 10 of the same color. What color?
Now we are outside of Warrensburg. We skipped to Sedalia because we saw that earlier.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next station stop coming up in just a couple minutes will be Warrensburg. Warrensburg will be next.
A little bit, yeah.
I did two.
Oh, you did 2 sticker pages?
No. I did that one.
Oh, you did.
I scanned this.
Oh, you tip your fingers? Okay, well, let's do. This one looks really tricky.
I see that.
I heard. Don't twist this, it's tricky. Here.
No.
starting to get stuff ready.
You foolish, naive
I don't need the
mortal.
charger anymore.
You have no idea what is about to happen.
First on top. Okay. Okay, hold on. Just about.
So we were about... I didn't even notice that there was the old Amtrak sign just sitting right there. But here we are in Warrensburg. Here is the depot. Reporting mark is WAR.
I'll come right back to it. Okay, hang on. I want to see this.
Dark under there.
Yeah.
And it's kind of dark under there at night.
There's a siren up there. Pancake siren.
Thank you, last stop on Warrensburg. Our next station stop in about 40 minutes will be Sedalia, Missouri.
The audio was cut out because two children started fighting. I've cut out like half of just dark screen. It was nighttime at this point. We're running about 20 minutes late. Not too horrible. And some of the screenshots I've gotten from the passing streets were pretty decent liminal images.
Oh, I thought that said pie racing.
I was really tired, but
There's like a tattoo and piercing place, and I thought it said pie racing. Tattoo and pie racing.
I only got more tired from here. So here we are at Sedalia Summit.
It makes it.
Reporting mark LEE.
Okay,
This
maybe
time
not
you'll
the
get
actual
to see
station.
what the station is actually like. It's a fairly popular rail fanning location. Here's the waiting area. It is a glass shelter. And it is a sauna in there. Well, the station does have restrooms. And then we stop.
Did you want to switch sides there?
And there's a story behind that. Now, Independence, Missouri is not the greatest area. There's a reason it's known for three things. Two of them begin with M. One thing that they are known for, Harry S. Truman, the 33rd President of the United States, a sizable Mormon population, and a whole bunch of meth addicts. And that's the reason why I'm never doing a video on Independence Center, even though architecturally it's really cool. It's been taken over by meth heads. There's no nice way of saying it. So we stopped for about 30 or so minutes. And then the conductor finally gets on the PA and says, "Hey, we're stopped behind two freight trains. One of them is broken down." I believe the two freight trains part. I do not believe the broken down part, as later on in the journey, once we started moving again, we crossed the street, and on my side of the train, there was a house with police tape all around the perimeter and 3 police cars out front. They looked like they were finishing up. I said they were all police cars. One of them did not look like a police car. I could not tell if it was FBI or SWAT. So my sort of little theory is that something happened in Independence, which doesn't surprise me, and it made things so that it was too dangerous for the trains to go by. So we had to be stopped until that was all over with. And then once that was all over with, we went by. It caused us to be about 2 hours late, which for a route of that length is really bad. But there was nothing even Union Pacific could do about it. So, yeah. I was basically completely out of it by that point. Really, really tired. And I pretty much slept. And looked at Reddit, of course. But that's an image I got from inside the train at that point. So yeah. Finally at Kansas City Union Station, we had actually caused train number 3, Southwest Chief, to also be late. Because this is a guaranteed connection, so as long as we waited, that's how long that train 3 waited. Now, train 313 is supposed to reach the station before train 3, but because of the delay, train 3 reached Kansas City a full hour before we did. But here you can see the superliners. They have much bigger windows, and they are based off of the bi-levels used by Santa Fe, most notably on the El Capitan route. Which leads to the... Wait, here's the Rusty Stairs.
Fun.
Which leads to the precursor to the superliner, we call generally El Capitan cars. When we got off, the station was pretty hectic. And and the freight train doesn't help things. So, we have now reached the end of the video. My thoughts on the journey, it was nice. I've been on Interstate 70, and it's awful. There's too many trucks on a wimpy little 4-lane divided highway. It needs more lanes. Well, no, it doesn't. Just take the train. It's much nicer. And you can see some P-42s down there. At a later date. Missouri River Runner has its moments, but it's not really a scenic train. It serves more of a pragmatic purpose of basically a cheap way to get between Kansas City and St. Louis. It's also not horribly slow. It's better than driving. And it doesn't take too much longer. Unless, you know, medical emergency, tracks falling into the river, or Independence, Missouri. But yeah. It'll probably be a little while between now and the next rail adventures, but until then, have a good time.